Hi, welcome to Knowledge Base. In this video, we will look into the basic circuit diagram of microcontroller development board. In our case, it is PIC18F4550. So, all the circuit is dependent on PIC18F4550. Okay. The first thing is you have to download the data sheet. It is very important to go through the specification of the microcontroller, whichever you are working on. So if you see in this page, in the product page, to the right side, you'll see a lot of parameters like program memory type, program memory, like how much memory is there, and what is the voltage it works at, and pin count. So it is 40 pin PIC, and other features like communication peripherals and ADC. There are 13 channels of ADC of 10-bit resolution, a lot of things. So first thing is like we'll go through the data sheet. So I have already downloaded the data sheet. Okay, so the first thing we'll see here is okay, so this is the data sheet. If you see the data sheet, it will show a lot of other IC numbers also. That means all these things belong to the same family. Okay, and let's scroll down. So here you can see this has a USB peripheral, and it has a flexible oscillator structure. That means it can go up to, external oscillator can go up to 48 megahertz, and internally you can generate from 31 kilohertz to 8 megahertz. Okay, there are other features also like watchdog timer and ADC, SPI, USART, and compare capture PWM modules and all. Okay, so let's look into this table. So we are interested with how many pins of IO are available in PIC18F4550. If you see here, it shows that there are 35 IO pins available. So where are those 5 other pins gone is basically the minimum connections. Okay, so if I scroll down, you will see this is 40 pin PDIP, okay, DIP package, and if you see here, I can use this MCLR also for as a RE3. The 5 pins which we can't use in our project is VDD, VSS, USB, and one more set of VDD, VSS. Okay, but when we construct our board, we'll connect a switch to MCLR also. So that MCLR will not be like, you can't use that MCLR pin as RE3. And if you scroll down, it will show a lot of other features also, and the most important thing is like to start with this IO ports. Please go through this IO port section. Just go through till the explanation of what is IO port, like what is this stress port, and latch registers are, and configuration bits. Okay, so you don't have to go through the entire thing of what is port A, port B, and doing. There are some pull-up configurations and all. So don't worry about those things. Just read through this first page of IO. Okay, IO port. So this is the data sheet. You can go through a lot of things like if you want to refer ADC, you can directly jump to the ADC section, and it will show what are the registers and how to use and all. So I'll come to those things later. Okay, so let me close this, and I would like to show you this basic structure here, like basic connections. Okay, so MCLR is pulled up. Okay, MCLR is basically logic low. Okay, so active low pin. That means if you connect this pin to ground, that means if the level is 0, that means the pin is active. Okay, so that is how it is. MCLR is like that. And the basic connections of oscillator is to pin number 13 and 14. So I'll connect 5 volts to 11 and 12, that is VDD and VSS. VDD is 5 volts, VSS is ground. Ground is basically 0 volts. Okay, we are not concentrating on USB and SPI right now. Okay, so pin number 13 and 14 is OC oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 pins. So you can see how it is connected. Instead of 20 megahertz, we'll connect 4 megahertz, and instead of 15 picofarad, we'll connect 33 picofarad. Okay, this is the basic connection. Okay, let's switch to my notes. Here is the circuit diagram of PIC development board. So this is the power supply circuit and how to connect the LEDs, and this is microcontroller and ICSP. Okay, so let me close this, don't concentrate on that. If you have an adapter or power source which is are like 9 volts, 12 volts, or anything greater than 7 volts, you had to regulate this voltage to 5 volts. Okay, you had to cut off this voltage so that you can get this 5 volts. So what we use is 7805 IC. Okay, this is the 5 volts regulator, and this is the simple connection, the basic connection of this. We have 12 volts connected to input, that is pin number 1, and there is a capacitor across this 12 volts and ground. This could be like 10 microfarad. Okay, and we have this ground, which is actually the ground pin is common for everything. This ground pin is what we'll use for all the other circuit, so that is the common one. And the third pin is the output, 5 volts output. And we have a switch here. Okay, on off switch is connected to this 5 volts, and after the switch we have to connect this capacitor. Here also you could use 0.1 microfarad or 10 microfarad, sorry, 1 microfarad or 10 microfarad capacitor, and whatever the power lines you have after this capacitor, that is what we'll use to connect to microcontroller. Okay, one more thing is, like, in case if you want to indicate the power, like when you switch on this, you want to know if the board is on or not, you can connect an LED. So this 5 volts here is connected to the resistor, and through the resistor there is a LED connected, and the other pin of the LED is connected to the ground or 0 volts. How do you calculate this resistor? For hobbyist, I don't like, you can just connect this 180 ohms or 200, 330 ohms depending on the intensity of the LED what you want. But we use a formula, V is equal to IR. So, in case if you are connecting a red LED will start glowing at 2.5 volts itself. So you have to connect the appropriate resistance here, so which will drop the voltage to 2.5 volts. That is how the resistance is calculated. But don't worry, you can just connect 180 ohms and drive it through 5 volts. So this is the power circuit. And in case if you have 5 volts adapter, you can forget about this part, and all you have to concentrate is like this 5 volts pin what you get through the adapter. You'll connect it to switch and the ground, and put a capacitor across this. Okay, it is better to have a capacitor, so you can suppress the fluctuations and all. Let's look into the microcontroller circuit. Okay, MCLR, you can see MCLR bar, that means active low. If you ground this pin, the microcontroller will reset. Okay, it will clear off the memory and resets its address to 0000. Okay, so how do you connect a switch to this MCLR pin? You can't just directly connect this to a 5 volts because the lot of current will rush through, and it will damage the MCLR pin. So you have to connect a 10K resistor and then 1K or 500 ohms resistor, and then connect to MCLR. From 10K, from this network, like resistor network, from 10K you will connect a switch. This is the push button. Okay, reset switch. You will connect a reset switch here, and then reset switch is connected to ground. So if you don't, if the button is not pressed, okay, when the button is not pressed, in the sense it is open, the MCLR is tied up to 5 volts. So that means microcontroller is working fine and MCLR is not active. When I push the switch, it will this point is actually ground. Okay, when I push this, when the circuit is closed, this point becomes ground, and MCLR pin is active, so it will reset the microcontroller. Okay, so then we have OSC1 and OSC2, that is oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, connected to like 4 megahertz like this, and then capacitor, and each capacitor is tied up to ground. And then this is set of pins, like 5 pins, will use to program the microcontroller. Programming in the sense dumping the hex file into the microcontroller. So the pins of ICSP, that is in-circuit serial programmer, pins are MCLR, VDD, VSS, PGD and PGC, programming data and programming clock. Now PGD, PGC are pin number 40 and 39. You can use these two pins are used like while programming. You use these two pins, and once it is programmed, these two pins you can use as IO pins. Okay, input output pins. You can connect LEDs or switch. Okay, so while programming, these pins are recognized as PGD and PGC. Okay, so this is the programmer, and I have already marked the. I don't know if you can see this. I have already marked pin number 1, that is the arrow. It is MCLR, VDD, ground, PGD, PGC, and third one is, I mean like the last one, 6th pin is low voltage programming pin in PICIT 3 and auxiliary pin in PICIT 2. Okay, in case if I want to connect LEDs to any of the IO pins, it is simple. You have this IO pin connected to a resistor, same way as you connect it to that power indicator. So 180 ohms resistor and an LED, and then ground. So if you have 2-3 LEDs, the ground pin you can just tie up and connect it to one ground. Okay, so now let's one more thing I want to tell you is while connecting LEDs, make sure these LEDs are connected in proper polarities. Okay, let me show you on the battery itself. See, if you can see this LED, there is one pin lengthier than the other. Okay, there is one lengthier pin and then one more is shorter. Okay, lengthier pin is connected to positive, that means it is anode, and the shorter one is cathode, and you connect this to negative or ground. Other way of identifying these pins is you can see a flat surface. Okay, that shining surface, you can see that is the flat surface, and you can't see that there is no flat surface in any of the other part. Okay, so the pin near to that flat surface is cathode or negative or 0 volts, and the other pin is positive. That's how you will identify. So if I connect this in a proper order, it will work. If I connect this in a reverse order, it won't work. There is one more thing you have to note is see the okay, this is blue LED. Similarly, if I connect it in a reverse direction, it won't work. There is one more thing you have to take care is voltage. Red LEDs will work at 2.5 volts itself, and blue LED requires 3.3 volts. So the battery what I have is 3 volts battery. If I connect both of them together, the blue won't glow, but red glows, because red has least resistance and consuming less power. So the entire current is flowing through this red, and it doesn't. So the blue has a higher resistance and it is not consuming power, so it's not allowing the power. Okay, the simplest thing is like power. I mean current flows through least resistance path. Okay, so that is how it is. Regarding the capacitors, if you have 10 microfarad capacitor like this one, this is the electrolyte capacitor, you will see there is a negative sign written. Okay, this and even the LEDs are the same. The lengthier one is positive and the shorter one is negative. So this has a polarity. Okay, this capacitor has polarity. These kind of electrolytic capacitors have the polarity. So you have to be very careful while connecting it to your circuit. So the capacitor what you are going to connect here, the 5 volts should be connected to the lengthier pin and negative to the ground. Okay, so this capacitor will be like this, and you'll connect the crystal here, and these capacitors, these are ceramic capacitors. Ceramic capacitor doesn't have any polarity, so you can connect the way you want. So these two will be here, and the one LED is connected to the OSC1 and OSC2, and the other LEDs, other side of the capacitor is connected to ground. In between there is oscillator. Okay, so this is it all about the circuit. Before closing up with the session, I would like to show some multimeter measurements, like how do you check the voltage, resistance and all. So that will be very helpful. So I have taken this multimeter and I am plugging on the adapter. Okay, so this is my 5 volts adapter. So I'll switch to voltage here, DC voltage, 20 volts limit, and I'll check this. Okay, so it is showing the voltage of 5.13. Okay, don't worry, 5.13. I mean that microcontroller will handle 5.5 volts up to 5.5 volts, so 5.13 will not be any issue. So you have to take care that your power connections, like power is according to the spec. Okay, sometimes you may have something like 5.7 and all, or if you have connected 6 volts without knowledge, so that could be a damaging issue. So that could damage your microcontroller. So take care of those things. And if I want to measure a resistance, see, I have already connected a resistance to resistor to the LED. So what you do is, like, you switch this to resistance mode. First thing is, like, you will take this to highest resistance value and then try to measure. So this is in the range of okay, so this is actually 100 ohm resistor. So when you have 100 ohm resistor, there will be some error. That is why it is like there will be error of 5%. So that is why it is showing 99 ohms. Okay. So use the multimeter, check all the things, like if the power is correct or not in the circuit. So what is the voltage you are getting across these two? Okay, so sometimes there could be some short here and you are not getting the voltage here. So there could be a lot of issues. So take care of all those things. Use multimeter, check all the values like voltage and resistance what you have connected. So in case if there was an error, and I mean, like, you might have connected a 1k or 10k or 1m like that of a resistor here, and you are expecting this LED to glow, it won't glow because there is a higher resistance and there is no enough current passing through it. So use this multimeter, check all the parameters. Use, there is no, I mean, you should also take care there is no short in between the pins. Okay, in between all the pins. Okay, when you are building the circuit, there should not be any short. And so with all these precautions, build your board or buy the board. And this is it. This is all about the basics you should know before starting up with hardware and programming. So that's it. Thank you.